Hey all, Board Game Rants here. We'll find everything solo, tabletop gaming, and more. Got a Reader's Digest version of the MVP show. What I've been playing in June. What I've been thinking about it. Here we go. So, why a Reader's Digest version? I'll explain a little later. Does Reader's Digest, does that even exist anymore? Anyway, it's sort of a shortened form of a story. This is going to be a shortened form of a show. And so I'm going to get right into it. Played still quite a few games, but probably not going to just go over the numbers. Just went over Pinochle. Played that. Always do. Got those family dinners that I go to. The Mine, same thing. Only played that once, though, and we demolished at it. There's a huge advantage to playing with the same group, that game over and over again. You get to know each other, and that's a big part of the Mind. Played Uno to death and got introduced. I've been talking about 7 and O's, but now got introduced to jump-ins. So now, if you got a crap ton of blue cards in your hand and it switches to blue, you better be paying attention because someone plays a blue 3 and you got one in your hand. Bam! You pop that down, you jump in, and then everybody else loses their turn up to you, and it starts from you again. You know, and so people can jump in and skip people. It gets damn near violent sometimes, and I like it. Uno is taking on a new life for me and the family and just people that we have over with these little, I guess sort of an internet thing that started it all. And there was somebody sent me something that said Uno is taking an official stance that you cannot like double up on +2s and all this stuff, and it's kind of funny, kind of silly. Anyway, it's that Uno had to take an official stance to that. Because it can get brutal. Tell you what, oh man, it's a different game when you're got some serious backstabbing going on. But it's all in good fun. Now to the games. I played wrapped up the month before and started this month with the City of Kings. I played a shit ton of that. As you know, that has the vibe of being number one for 2019 for me. We'll see. But that was City of Kings. Played that another 6 times. Scythe modular. I did a unboxing of that, and it kind of did to Scythe what maybe Gaia Project did to Terra Mystica. You know, took a static board and created a variable board that you play on each game. And I like it a lot. Got some plays into that. And it still feels, it's very scythy, but it's different in the sense that, nothing's like where you're used to it being, which really changes the game quite a bit. So that's a good time. Scythe modular board. Renegade. I played a game of Renegade one night when I went to where I would normally play Pinochle. We were missing somebody, and I'm always ready for that odd man out, and I want it to be me because I always bring a backup. And so while everybody was playing Pinochle, I got to play a game of Renegade. That's a real go-to. I grab that game like all the time because it's so small. It sets up very quickly. It's a deep game, but it's very easy to relearn, and I just love it. So that's so I played a game of Renegade. Too Many Bones. Met up with a fellow that I've been swapping games with up north. His name's Anthony, and thank you, Anthony. And I'll get to that later, but he gave me a little goodie that I'll show you if I can remember. And Too Many Bones, though, Under 2 was one of those that I'd switched with him. I got that back. I immediately had to take it out and start playing it. Only got one game in, but Too Many Bones, anything in Too Many Bones, count this guy in. I love it. So, another game that I did a little unboxing for was, and by the way, these unboxings that I do, I'm kind of curious your feedback, because what I'm doing is kind of cheaty. I've usually opened up the box, read the manual, watched some videos on it, so then I do the unboxing, and it's kind of an overview. I know a lot about the game, and I kind of talk about that too, and what the pieces I believe all mean. And so it's these unboxings, I'm trying to put a little bit of a twist on them, because I find them kind of fun to do, and I kind of do them in a weird way, in front of a mirror, which I don't know if that's weird too, but whatever. I don't care if it's weird. Anyway, be interested to hear your thoughts on that, and if that makes it more watchable. Unboxings a lot of times just like, I don't know what any of this stuff is, but I want to know what it is, so that as I'm taking it out, I'm like, oh, I know what that's going to do. Oh, I know what that's going to do. Oh, I can't wait to do that. Anyway, Underwater Cities. Let's get back to that. I played it. I played it 8 times, and I like it. It has a lot of parallels that were drawn from Terraforming Mars to Underwater Cities, and people saying that but really it's just down to I would say the tableau building, the cards that you play feels very terraforming Mars, and the way you build out your tableau and the way that those cards interact with the game mechanics feels it feels very, very terraforming Mars. But after that, it kind of there's a big separation, because you're building this underwater city, physically building it, and it's your own. You're not sharing a board with anybody, and you got these little domes and these tunnels and all these beautiful little cubes that represent different structures, and you're trying to connect to the megatropolises, and you're scoring points in all sorts of cool, awesome ways, and it looks good while you're doing it. And essentially, it's a worker placement game at its core, because you just get 3 little action pawns, they're like these. It's a weird way that you can. Usually, it's a pawn, but it's like these little cardboard pieces, which is another thing. People have complained a lot about this. The production of it and the component quality is down, and I would say it is. I've seen much better, but it's very playable, and I don't really have a problem with it. Anyway, so it's beautiful looking, and it plays fantastic, and essentially it's a worker placement game at its core, because you're just putting out, there's only so many spaces out there, and you better put down the one you want to take, or someone else might get it. When you play solo, it's a little bit different. It's a little mechanical. Things just kind of keep trouncing around the board round after round. So still, solo leaves something to be desired, but it's still so new, and that I'm kind of still into it. So that's Underwater Cities. So the MVP, though, would really be First Martians. I talked about opening that up. I knew what I was getting into, did a little unboxing. I think I talked about that in last month's show. I don't remember if I did. I think I did. And it's if you played Robinson Crusoe, it's the same. It's the same, except for it's on Mars, and you got an app. Aside from that, and there's a little bit of there's some legacy element to it too. There's some envelopes in there, which you're just dying to see what's in those envelopes. But it fell way short for me. I played it 14 times because I believe that whole series, it's a good, both First Martians and Robinson Crusoe, I like it. I want to like them more, but because essentially the mechanics are you get 2 action pawns, and you can, on your turn, you can couple them up for almost a guaranteed success at whatever you're trying to do, or you can split them up, try and get twice as much done, but now you got to roll some dice and take your chances. I find that very fun and very thrilling, and you got to weigh your options out. And as you get later in the game, you realize, I got to get some shit done here, or I'm dead. You start splitting up, and then crazy stuff starts happening. I like that idea. Robinson Crusoe does it way better for me, because essentially the 2 things, Robinson Crusoe was still fun for me, even though you lose like every time, and constantly bad things are happening. A little like Nemesis. Have you ever seen my playthrough with Nemesis? I don't think I won either one of those, and but I love it through and through the whole thing. It's just you're into it, and it brings out the sailor in me a little bit, and that's how I can tell, like, if I'm into a game, is if I start. I don't know, it seems like and the reason I figured this out is, like, if I start swearing or not, is because then I did a playthrough of First Martians where nothing goes wrong, right? Nothing goes right. Everything goes wrong. And you can there's a whole different vibe to that video. You can feel it. And as I was editing, and I was like, I'm not even swearing. It's a weird observation, but I kind of realized after the fact, I was like, I don't sound like I'm into it. You're just not invested into it. And if I'm not, then I just don't, I don't get colorful, I guess. It just doesn't, it's so dreary, because you're just constantly, nothing. It's like, oh, this broke. Oh, this is broken. Oh, that broke. Oh, that broke. Oh, that broke. I fixed one thing, and then that broke. And then you fix one thing and 4 other things break. Like, it's just a constant. At least in Robinson Crusoe, there's sorts of little tidbits. The other thing that I really like about those 2 things, beside the action pawn selection thing, is the adventure aspect. Flip it over tiles, seeing what you got. I love that in games. And both of them have it. But at least in Robinson Crusoe, you get stuff. There's little happy moments all throughout. While you're getting your face beat in, there's little happy moments that bring you back into the game, that make you feel like, oh, I got a chance here. You don't, but, oh, I got a chance here. You feel like you do, and it's just like you get all sorts of little goodies and stuff, and there's a sense of accomplishment as you're going through it, little bits. But in First Martians, it's just bleak, and it just drains me anyway. That takes a lot, because I don't mind getting beat down. But when there's no happy events, there's hardly anything good or happy that happens during it. It's just all bad news the whole way through. You kind of start off here and then you end up down here. Whereas, you know, and it's just a constant, there's no like in Robinson Crusoe. That makes any sense. Also, too, just I don't understand how it happened. Why 6 years later do you come out with a game, and now it has an app to help you, and it's still the 1,500 something rules entry questions in Board Game Geek for Robinson Crusoe. How did they not refine that? How did they not make the system better 6 years later in First Martians? It's got the same fucking problems. Like I don't know if there's something lost in the translation. See, I get all fired up. I know why. It could be so good. And it just bombed. And it bombed because it deserved a bomb, in my opinion. I still think it's a good game. And for $19 goddamn dollars, I tell you what, I feel like I got my money's worth. You know, if I had kickstarted that game, holy fuck, I would have been pissed. But I didn't, and played the heck out of it and opened up like an envelope, and I was so excited to see what was in that envelope. It was disappointing. So I'm not going to ruin anything, but except for that, it was fucking disappointing. The whole game is. So anyway, but for $19, was it worth it? Would I even suggest if someone liked Robinson Crusoe and you can get it for $19, I would say do it. You know, you there's a chance you'll like it. I still feel myself oddly wanting to play the game, but I just know, and I kept falling for it, if you will. And at the end of the game, realizing, I just feel like shit. So that's First Martians. Looking forward, I am. I was going to mention. So the guy that I swapped games with, he gave me these things. These things, I'm gonna see, are sweet. I mean, look at the quality that he does, and he's only been doing this like a month or two, and he showed me a whole bunch of other stuff that he's doing, and I'm fucking impressed. I was saying, man, you should be selling this stuff somewhere. I'll buy it. And he doesn't do that yet, but if he does, you're going to see a lot of his shit on my channel because it kicks ass. These little bits, you can put your little bits in there, and then when you're done putting your bits in there, you can use this to just scoop them right into your bag or whatever you're using to store them. And you got the bigger trays, of course, for the bigger bits, and the little ones, the little bits and the bits and the bits. So anyway, very sweet, high quality stuff. This guy's got talent. Something I'm looking forward to. Fallout. Looking forward to this game. It didn't get good reviews. Multiplayer, I guess nobody seems to really like it. People are wondering why it wasn't just co-op. And but I've heard wonderful things about it being played, well, co-op, but also solo. That it's just it's a little Mage Knight-esque, but on a less grander scale. Super intrigued also because I love the Fallout world, and I've got the expansion, the California or whatever, coming so that I can play it officially co-op. That's Fallout. I'm looking forward to that. That's the newest game I have anyway that I'm kind of digging and looking forward to getting into more. So thank you. That's good. That's a wrap, if you will. I made this kind of quick just because my mind's not quite into it here as of late. I just had just had a couple good friends of mine who really become family. I'd known them since they were teens, and they moved a couple thousand miles away. And then at the same time, my daughter, my oldest, she moved out, and just kind of took an emotional toll on me, and my soul feels just a little drained. And so I just felt compelled to just really be doing almost nothing outside of just being with friends and family right now. And this sort of stuff takes me away from that. And so if I've been lacking in presence online, that's why. And I'll be back. But this summer, it's summer, man. I plan on spending a lot of little trips going on. Maybe with the extra time I'm saving you by what you would normally be watching, go hug your kid, go play basketball with your daughter, go sit and talk to your son about something that your son's interested in. Just go be present with somebody. That flesh and blood thing, internet, social media, all that stuff can replace so many things. Brick and mortar, watch out, right? You can damn near order anything you want online, and it just shows up at your doorstep, oftentimes for cheaper than you can get it by driving out somewhere and fighting traffic. But it can't replace that human element. And no amount of likes or follows or subs or any kind of comments in text form can't replace what I need right now. And so that's kind of where my head's at. And while I'm making this quick, I still plan on putting out videos and stuff, and I will get back into it. And but right now, life is calling for a little bit different something from me, so I can kind of get my strength back from an emotional standpoint, if you will. Until next time, I'm Board Game Rants. Go out, enjoy your summer, if it's summer where you're at, and I'll see you more when the weather turns bad, which only takes 2 months around here. So, I'm Board Game Rants. Thanks for watching. I'm out! I can't tell if it's my eyes. Can I not see, or is it just fucking blurry and... Mother... If this has been not focusing on me, oh, I'm gonna be pissed. Okay, here we go.